The Morgan Report with David Morgan. Discover how to build and protect your wealth at themorganreport.com.
David Morgan with the weekly perspective for the week ending 6 February 2026. Well, I want to take a look at this for everybody's benefit, mine included, as far as what happened here on the 30th, Friday. And one of the tools here is to kind of outline what we're looking at. And we are looking here. This was last week, so we have a good idea of where we stood prior to the sell-off. So we're looking at the commercials only. I box it for you. You can see we got to look at both numbers. The commercials, how many contracts are they long? How many contracts are they short? And I'm not going to do the complete math in my head, but it's pretty easy. 88 minus 44 is 44. So the short 88, 844, the long 44, 788. I'm just going to make them round numbers. 88,000 short, 44,000 long. Net short. The net position is short, obviously, and it's short by 44,000 contracts. You take 44,000, or the exact number if you wish, multiply that by 5,000, and you find out how many ounces the commercials were short prior to the 30th of January, where the big sell-off took place. This will be updated 1 hour from now, so I will wait and I will look and see what the changes were from the sell-off on Friday to the Tuesday reporting, which will be, Tuesday was the 3rd of February. So we'll get a pretty good idea, not exact, but a pretty good idea of whether or not the commercials went from net short to net long. As many have indicated, it may be true. I have my doubts, but we'll put up the facts here once I complete this video. All right, so here we go. We are now on February 3rd, which of course was Tuesday. I'm doing this after close on Friday. And here we are at the commercial shorts, which is pretty interesting because rather than the 88 and 44 we had on last week's report, we have 80,973 and 35,248. So I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to round up the nearest whole numbers. So I'm going to make the 80,973 81 and round down to 35,248 to 35. If you do that simple arithmetic, you are going to find that that in round numbers is 46,000 contracts net short, which nullifies anyone saying that the banks are net long at this time. It's just not true. On top of that, it's actually 2,000 more contracts net short than there was last week. So you got to pay attention to who's who in the zoo these days. There is a lot, and I mean a lot, of misinformation out there, not only in the precious metals across the board, but since this is one of the topics I'm fairly well versed in, I just think it's important to understand that there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes in so many arenas, but you got to look at the source. What source are you getting your information from? Do they have something to sell you? Do they not have something to sell you? I have something to sell. I sell a financial newsletter. I'm straight up about it. I also provide almost all the information for free, and I've done so for more than 25 years. This is a free update I give out to the public and have done so at my cost for a very, very long time. So I'm going to leave it there for the commitment of traders and that we actually increase the net short position and move on to a couple other things. So moving on a somewhat different topic, looking at the documentary Silver Sunrise, available for free at silversunrise.tv. This is the final edit that helped to get this production over the finish line. And it's just talking to Zachary that the project, meaning Silver Sunrise, has entered into the monthly finals and may be awarded as one of the best film scripts of the month. So there is that. Here it is, Silver Sunrise as a finalist, and I hope it gets there, but regardless if it does or it doesn't, just happy to say that it was nominated as a finalist. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll be back with you next week on another weekly perspective. Again, if I vented, I felt I needed to. Just you can't believe everything you hear. Have I told 100% accurate information the whole way through the last 25 years? Hardly. But I've never gone and said things that could be, untrue. And I think some folks may be saying one thing and knowing better. In other words, knowing that the net short position in the commercials is not flipped to net long. In fact, it's shorter this week than it was last week. And I showed you the data for yourself. You can verify. That's it. I'll be back with you next week with another weekly perspective.
The U.S. government debt is about to cross $37 trillion. That's not a typo. That's trillion with a T. Tariffs are being used to try and even the playing fields. Global supply chains are shifting. Inflation isn't going away. And the value of your dollar? It's quietly being drained while no one is really talking about this. The truth is, we're living through the early stages of a financial reset, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. And if you're still relying on mainstream headlines or financial advisors who just tell you to write it out, you could be blindsided when things really shift. That's where the Morgan Report comes in. For over 25 years, David Morgan has been helping investors cut through the noise. He tracks what actually drives markets, from precious metals and mining stocks to global debt and monetary policy, and show you how to protect and grow your wealth when the system is under stress. This isn't just about gold and silver. It's about having a clear-eyed view of where things are headed and making sure you're not caught off guard. The Morgan Report gives you real research, honest analysis, and strategies you can act on, even in a world of rising debt, unstable currencies, and economic uncertainty. Go to themorganreport.com today, download your free report, get informed, get ahead, and take back control of your financial future. Themorganreport.com, because $37 trillion in debt won't